Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vamp here, and I want to do another Borderlands 4 video, and this is an update to my Infinite Apophis Lance Rafa build. I've made a whole lot of changes. There's still stuff I'd want to change, but I've spent way too long grinding for stuff that I probably don't need to grind for. Also, don't forget to like, comment, sub, and check me out on Twitch. I'm trying to stream there every couple of days. I don't have a solid schedule yet because my life is fucking chaos. But yeah. Now, in the previous video, I talked about how I was focusing a lot around the skills that allow for Apophis Lance to last forever, as well as the guaranteed crits, and really making use of metal management to just have infinite ammo as well. So the main weapon I was using, because I was lucky enough to have it in the Maurice's vending machine the first week, was the Katagawa's Revenge, and I managed to get a Jacobs one with decent damage. Basically, at any point in time, I can just do this, and I can just unload as long as I want. And thanks to Katagawa's Revenge continually hitting, I have unlimited Apophis Lance for quite a while. I just need to make sure I'm hitting some stuff. That was the basis of it. I wanted to farm a Watts for dinner so I could use more different weapons and stuff, because a lot of the time I've been focusing around the fact that a melee 1 enhancement gives 10% of the inactive damage, so I would use weapons like this so that it gets the shock, even if I'm using a corrosive element. I've largely started to find that's kind of unnecessary. I mean, I was just playing around with this. I have other, like a lot of hybrid SMGs. You can see a lot of them. I ended up going with Sniper a bit more, purely because of that role is obviously quite nice. But thanks to actually getting a Siphon What's for Dinner, I now have shock on any damage type. And I've found that a sticky bod with SMG secondary fire is absurdly good for bossing. And you can just melt bosses ridiculously fast because having overshield, I have the shock damage on hit, and then having infinite ammo, I can do this, and then all I have to do at some point is just stop firing the Apophis Lance, let that run out, and just does a absolute crazy amount of damage. I saw it's still detonating. You can see many hundreds of thousands in there. It's crazy. I just absolutely blow up bosses with it. And that's all thanks to getting a Siphon What's for Dinner. You can obviously see it's making a shitload of boosters, but the Siphon is the main part that makes it work without you having to pick up all the boosters, which is obviously fantastic. This obviously gives damage regardless, but I think generally speaking, for clear, it would be more effective to be using a fireworks shield, which you can see they need to fix this fucking bug. I do have a fireworks shield that is shock. That's obviously pretty neat. But realistically, yeah, for clear, that would be better but Katagawa's Revenge does a lot of work there because it just kind of keeps hitting stuff even after it kills something, and with Jacobs, very nice. So that's mainly what I use for clear. Any of my guns can really work okay. Obviously, stickies are a bit more annoying for clear, especially if you can't manually reload because you're getting infinite ammo. So I'm not using that for clear, or for mobbing. But yeah, as you can see, a shitload of hybrid SMGs. I was really trying to lean into that to begin with, but getting the What's for Dinner, I'm kind of like, I don't really need these. I need something good for mobbing, which this Jacobs is pretty good. I do have some Jacobs ones in here, like this one here, but the DPS is not great. So I've got a couple in there. I probably need to clear some of these out. I've just been holding on to them just in case. But I will go over the build. First off, Dancer. Pretty good one. We've got the fire rate skill a lot, which is pretty nice. It means that when we're in this, an absurd amount of fire rate. Obviously works really well for stickies, just feels nice to use. Having the other things in here, particularly the double or overdrive bonuses when you get a kill, that's really nice. That's pretty much always on it. Temerario's okay. I found out that it actually gives global damage. That's why I have 100% damage dealt there. Not gun damage. The gun damage is coming from other stuff. But yeah, and then the green skill is just some health regen, which I don't care about. I could probably get a better class mod, but I like status effect application chance because I'm relying on the status effects for the crits and Apophis Lance extension. For specializations, you can see it's a bit of a mess. I'm trying to fill out everything at the moment just so I can do some other builds that having to reset constantly. Really, this is just crazy strong. It's a lot of gun damage. Bullet Train is just really nice. It gives some extra gun damage too. I probably don't need it anymore. The annoying thing is you can't sprint while charging or firing Apophis Lance, which is really annoying. You then got Contamination. Obviously, that's just status chance for crits, which I'm doing both of those, so that's fucking fantastic. And I actually don't know how strong Compounding Afflictions is. I would assume that it works pretty well if it counts like the thousands of shocks I'm applying with my absurd fire rate and status chance. But yeah, otherwise, now with caffeine, it would be great, except that if for some reason it just does not work for Apophis Lance, it's something that desperately needs fixing. But we will see if they get around to that. Because outside of Apophis Lance, I'm not the strongest. I did want to push into using a Instigator class, not Instigator, Filantropo class mod, which again, this fucking thing is bugging out. We see so much. So that I can get the grenades. The problem is I have noticed this bug where if I am using certain grenades where there's too many projectiles on screen, I was testing it with the fire pot against the boss, all my buffs start to bug out and cooldowns start to bug out. So my buffs will last longer, which sounds great, but the cooldown on this fucks up. And the cooldown on the grenade crit skill that grants also fucks up and just takes way too long to reset. And it ends up basically making it do nothing. You can see here, I'll have a clip playing in the background, but yeah, the cooldown's just not fucking working, which is really disgusting. Now, I will quickly swap over to killing a boss. Let's just kill the Origo Vault Guardian. I'll just cut to that now. Now, I changed my mind. I will show you how it looks mobbing as well. Again, it's not the best. Actually, while I'm here, I'll swap to the Fireworks Shield so we can see how it looks with that. Obviously, Fireworks helps out a lot for this sort of thing, although I currently have no shield capacity because I just reset. You can kind of, the way I like to use this is you start charging Apophis Lance and then start firing your thing while mobbing, because you don't want to just be holding down the buttons all the time. But you can see this works pretty well regardless of armor type, just categories. The one problem I have is with vile enemies, because I can't apply statuses or crit them while they have their crystals up. But I have a sneaky way to deal with those that I can show. God damn, I forgot how good the Fireworks Shield is, though. It's so good. This is one problem. Shock Elemental Eaters. For this, I will just use the... Man, this sucks. Oh yeah, the grenade I've sold to a nuke Frost Blockbuster. And that's just for the sake of... big damage to break off crystals. It's one of the ways to deal with the vile enemies. Otherwise, I like to apply status effects to other enemies and then just fire my Apophis Lance because it does okay damage to the crystals themselves. But yeah, you can see it works pretty effectively. I like Apophis Lance. Apophis Lance is not strong enough. It's just not actually strong enough. Like right now, I'm just using it for infinite ammo and infinite overdrive. Like that's what it's for. I tried to see how strong I could get Apophis Lance, but it just can't compare to some of the crazy scaling the guns themselves give. I'll get rather. I even tried to get the 250% over ordnance damage thing, because it's ordnance. We'll see if we can get to this vile enemy without this running out. I don't have any of the things that restore it, but I opted, like, to just, like, restore duration of Apophis Lance, but I opted to just use stuff that I have to make myself stronger, and then I just deal with it when I'm not in, Apophis Lance, which I'm just using a rep kit with, action skill cooldown. Careful, about to run out of this. You can see my Apophis Lance is about to run out, which is not ideal. I might be able to do what I said about blasting this. No. Alright, so that's where I'll throw the grenades and kill myself nearly. That should mostly break off all the crystals. Yes, it has. You can see how slow I am when I'm not blasting with Apophis. Yep, I have the problem with crystals, yeah. So, yeah. Don't like vile enemies, especially not when my Apophis Lance is right on the end of its duration. I thought I broke one of the crystals. Anyway. So this is what I like to do, is I will charge this up. I'll just ping whatever enemies over here. And I'll blast them with this. There we go. Don't mind me being bad. This is the main reason I wanted to make a grenade build as well, is for these guys. But yes, dying is really bad. Apophis Lance is really fucking annoying because if you get downed, it just immediately puts it on cooldown, which when I've built around, you know, not exiting Apophis Lance, it's like, well, fuck me. But yes, vile enemies absolutely suck. They are like the main thing that I hate dealing with, and yeah, I want to make a Grenazerka build just for vile enemies for that exact reason. I'll probably get more damage out of using this, except that I don't have shock on it. But it's still with that. All right, now I should be able to kill him. Yeah, see? You know what? I should have thought of that. I only recently started using that bod, so I hadn't really thought about how strong it would be at just fucking breaking crystals like that. There you go, learning something new. I have that potential. I am using the an augment for it that gives cooldown reduction. Just this one here, which you can see the skill tree is fairly straightforward. And that's just to minimize how long I'm out of it, because none of the others do particularly a lot, and the capstone here is kind of gross. I don't want to be in melee range or stuff. Right, I'll put my other shield back on. I can do pretty good with the Catacombs Revenge, like it does plenty of damage, but it's got nothing on this fucking sticky pod. It's actually crazy. So this boss I should be okay with Catacombs. This. Alright, and I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna hold it down to make sure I have my gun damage bonus. It's still going off. Like, there we go. There's the build. You've seen one of its flaws is vile enemies, although I've basically solved that on the fly by just detonating fucking bottle over it. Which is just fucking hot when I say it out loud. Yeah, I'm not sure much else to say. Everything in here is kind of taken for, I think, fairly obvious. One big thing, first impression here, really powerful. First shot dealing 50% extra damage. That works, and it's multiplicative. If you're sitting on full ammo, like you can see I'm on 6 ammo the entire time when I start charging, when I'm spamming, it's like that. I've tested it, it works, it's really strong. That works well because of metal management. El Soldado, really powerful as well. It's why I was charging the Apophis Lance at the end of that. I've gone for more fire rate because it's more fun than getting more Temerario on the class mod, to be honest. And having more temerary on the class means I don't need to offset the negative gun handling as much, which is what this 1 point here is for, just to make sure it's not suffering too much. Also, I got a puppy in the background, and he's very cute. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's too much more to say. As I said, I got action skill cooldown rate, we got the class mod. As I explained why I have this, as I said, probably don't need it so much anymore. I may be better off using a Jacobs one for the multi thing, but having the extra status chance is still good. Like for my other weapons, I could give you a showcase of those, but it's just less impressive and it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, also, holy fuck, the projectile speed on melee 1 weapons annoys me. Like, this gun has better projectile speed than the melee 1 SMGs. But yeah, Blockbuster. Oh, trick shot on here, ignore that. I'm using Deadeye and High Cal for mentioned projectile speed. Trick shot is just what dropped on this. If I had to go with anything, I may actually put on... Maybe not airstrike. Put on something. Maybe just another level in the high cal for some gun damage, because obviously that's pretty nice. But yeah. My goal ideally would be to find more weapons to use, because that's why I wanted the what's for dinner, so I could do different element weapons. But it's like I don't need to do this whole Maliwan bullshit anymore. I tried TK's wave, and that's got an absurd amount of damage. But yeah, definitely want to do a Granazerka setup next. I've been farming for a while. Chaosan works pretty well, same way this does. This is just getting all the bonus damage from this sniper damage. And Chaosan shoots out a little bit less projectiles than this does in SMG mode. Just a little. But yeah, it's good stuff. I'm really liking it. I'm going to try pushing it further. But yeah, I will see potentially about getting a planner up, but either way, have a look at the skills here. I've got these in here. This is just 1 point just so I have the extra status. If I wanted to do more Apophis Lance damage, I'll put more points in that, but again, I'm not focusing on it at all. If you do want to kind of push your Apophis Lance damage up a bit, you could also change your spec stuff around. So instead of using some of these status things here, you could use action skill benefiting from gun damage there, and maybe the ordnance benefiting from gun damage there, because the action skill is considered shock ordnance damage. I have yet to test that, obviously. But yeah, you get a lot of damage if you use the 4 charges, but obviously that doesn't synergize as well with this, because this only counts when you first start charging. It's actually really annoying. I would love to use it more, but just some of the things around it are a little finicky. In any case, though, there's the build. It's a lot of fun. You're very fast. And that's just because I put all the points in the move seed here. You don't need this at all. That's just what I've done. I want to go faster. Augment, you don't need to use this either. You can use like extra grenades, or like this is just feels really comfy for bossing. Makes it way easier to hit it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I have leveled all my characters except for Vex to 50. I'm trying to work on builds. I actually need to just grind out XP a bit for specialization stuff. I've done green and red tree hollow, both pretty cool. I actually think for general use I would probably prefer it over this, just because the downtime on this and getting down, it's just those weird little finicky things. But yeah, in any case, I'm gonna call it there. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, see you in the next one.